Well, the thing that happened in 1977, the thing that really happened with Universal Studios was I got out of the blue, in the middle of our manufacturing, I got a letter to cease and desist the manufacture of the Universal masks, that they were taking away the license. Now, years before, we kept saying we want a renewal on the Universal license. And they'd say, oh, I'll just go ahead and keep making them and we're not gonna renew the license. And they did that for several years. And then they call me like in August and they say cease and desist. We were always a company that we really didn't have that much money. So we were producing to deliver all the time. And I called them up and I said, if you want to take the license away, I said, that's fine. But I'm not going to stop until October 31st. And if you try to do anything about that, you go right ahead. And because I had commitments, I had orders. It was almost like someone out there that we don't know about was trying to sabotage the company. And so we manufactured through that date. And at the end of that date, the guy at Universal Studios, he calls me, I called him and I said, okay, we're quitting. And he says, well, no, I want to talk to you about that. So whatever thing was going on out there that I don't know about, that probably had fallen through. And I went in and I was pretty irate. And I told them, they said, well, we want to make another license with you. And they quoted me like a 10% royalty, which is doubling the royalty, and all these demands and everything like that. And I made probably an error in judgment in that I said, forget it. And they said, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to make your own characters? I said, yeah. And I said, they won't do anything. They won't be in any conflict with what you have. And they said, if you infringe on our rights, we will cut through you like fire through wood. And I said, okay. I said, that's it, I'm leaving. They said, if you walk out that door, you'll never have a license with Universal Studios again. And I said, watch me. And I walked out the door. And in retrospect, I should have sat there and worked out a deal, because Universal Studios was very important to Don Post Studios. It was like 2 months later that I learned about Star Wars. And that really was a savior. But Universal Studios, after Star Wars began to become a more normal license, I have to admit that I missed the Universal Studios license. That was a great license. It had lots of meaning, and I shouldn't have stopped doing it. But somebody, it was all caused by somebody somewhere, and I don't know who, trying to sabotage Don Post Studios.